Okay, so the new time, it's 9 a.m. nearly. It's Tanya time, 9 a.m. I'm doing this moment here just to make sure we have the connection. Let me know if you actually can see me, and let me know if you can hear me. Okay, I'm using slightly different equipment today, so I'm having to kind of calibrate it. My whole idea really was that Zoom would help two people looking in. Can you hear me? Disclose yourselves to me is how it goes. Beck Loxham. Oh, Beck, thank you for watching. I'm using an iPad this time to film, whereas up until now for the live stream, I've used my iPhone with a camera and an external microphone. Can you hear me really clearly, Beck? Can you give me a thumbs up? Is anyone else doing the 9 o'clock? Bex is watching. Beck says, yes, hello. That's great. So I am clear. Another person's watching. If you want to let me know you're here, it would be wonderful to see who is actually present. I appreciate that lots of people have to do this when they finish work, which is great also. But now the live stream will be 9 a.m. Monday to Friday every week until the authorities that have put us all into this captivated moment allow us out. Hello, Linda Buckley. You've made it too. That's wonderful. Okay, anyone else? Linda, Lorna, good girl. I hope you've got all your camp proportions right. And Anne Barron. Hello, Anne. Okay, so you're watching, and we're going to do a Pilates everything today, really. It's called Pilates ME. I'm trying to use the Facebook live stream on a Monday. The plan is, although I change my plans regularly, to do it in such a way that when you then do your Zoom session, if you're doing Zoom, that I then do your technical stuff in relationship to this type of workout. So hello, Michelle. You can hear me loud and clear. That's fantastic. I've got a different type of microphone. Anyway, if you could see all the connections I bought just to try and keep this as clear and concise, you'd wonder if I was going into trading for the blooming IT industry. Anyway, how are we doing? Are we all good? I'm going to give it a few more moments just to let the people get themselves sorted out. You won't necessarily need anything. You might need your chair or a work surface. Susan Hands, good to see you again. Happy Monday to everyone. So if you need to use something to balance with, either a roller or the chair does work. I saw people using the rollers when we did a practice Zoom session. I will be doing all the standing stuff that you'd expect on a Pilates workout, and then some more floor stuff. Emma Williams, great to see you too. So we have 14 people viewing us, and we'll give it another kind of minute just so that I can make sure. Hello Claire, lovely that you're present too. Another minute so that the people that are signing in and tuning in, Kerry Roberts, good girl, and just finish your previous session as my warm-up. So Susan Hands has already done the previous session as a warm-up. Rachel Murphy, good morning. And by all means do a workout before the workout. My workout this morning has been with printers and laptops and re-inviting people that never got the invite, etc., to all sorts of things. Emily Rose Connor, hello. Do you like your full name, Rose? So we gave Emily Rose Connor. Whatever name comes on my screen, I tend to read it out. Anyway, it's great that Emily's here. So your session will be stood on your mat as a starting place. We're going to start with our feet a little bit wider. So if you understand the starting place and want to stand there because you're tired of just waiting, then by all means stand with your feet hip width apart. Check that you can see yourself on the screen. And I'm going to come out of this sat by the screen position where I can physically read, because I can't read anything once I take my glass off. Janet Booth, oh my goodness, we have a teacher in the room. Janet, feel free to do all my corrections for me. Anyway, I'm going to get on with the workout now. It's lovely that people are able to come and watch. So I'll let you sort yourselves out. I'll remove my glasses. And here we go. So you're going to stand with your feet wider than normal on that mat. So I've got my feet about the width of my mat. It does depend how wide your mat is. You've got your feet wider. Relax at the ankle and knee joint and going straight into your squat. So you've got your hinging at the hip, pull your knees, pull your bottom backwards, and we know that I tend to go a little bit faster than you really want. So I'm just going to slow it right down now, slowing it down. Exhale to go down into your squat and inhale to push back up. But if you have it the other way around, we know it doesn't matter, don't we? With the legs slightly wider, you should get the feel of pulling your thighs out wide. Imagine you've got the glute band on, which I'm not going to do today, obviously. Going down again to your squat and stay. So in this first squat, as always, push your knees backwards, have your feet so that you've got your load through the outsides of your foot, and you should feel the abductor muscles here, the side bottom, and you're breathing. Exhaling now to pelvic tilt. Breathe in, and then back to neutral. And exhale, you've got that pelvic curl, which is the pelvic floor obliques. Remember, it's not that bum squeeze activation, it is a pelvic curl, using your breath out, and reverse. And again, exhale, pelvic tilt, pelvic curl, big breath in, and then stand up into your alignment position. So we go back down into our squats. This time allow your arms to reach as though you're taking a box. You've got bent elbows at the top, your arms straight as though you're taking a box to the floor and from the floor. Be careful not to drop your chest, because we know that's what happens, don't we? We're going to take the box to the floor and pull the box back from the floor. So your feet are wide, you take the box to the floor. My chin isn't poking forwards, I've changed my position just to give you a better view. So as I go to the floor and from the floor with that box, I'm standing, pulling my hips forwards and stretching out through the back of the knee without locking out. The next time the box goes to the floor, you're going to stay. So check your shape. You shouldn't be head flat down between your feet. You should be with your crown of the head reaching, hands are on the knees. Push your hands to the inside of the thigh, the knee joint, push it out. Let the elbows spin a bit, keep the chest open. We're going to do the forwards bend. Breath out to roll the neck and the rib cage. Feel the cinching in of the waist without the lumbar spine changing. And inhale just here, and then breathing out, keep the hands pushing and pull the collarbones wide and send your cleavage chest forwards. Big breath in, nothing in the knees. Exhale, it's the nod, rolling through the neck, roll through the thoracic. Keep the knees pushing out, breathe into the back of your rib cage, chase away that stiffness. And then exhaling, opposite. So we're doing this extended moment. The lumbar spine feels great, nothing in the lower back, the side bottom's working. Next time, just find your true squat. In other words, not the chin. Make the alignment from tailbone to skull where it should be, and now allow the movement of the legs taking you lower and up and down. So keep working like this and get the whole abdominal area involved rather than just your legs. I'm going to keep you here to create some movement warmth. So these are all the big muscles working, side bottom, big breathing muscles. So your whole trunk stability system are your breathing muscles. So if you've been holding your breath all weekend, now's the time to stop. So we're breathing deeply in and out. I can start to feel a lot more muscles at the back of the thigh getting involved. I can feel my side bottom getting involved. I've got my thighs reaching open, so I'm not rolling my knees in. I'm keeping my knee joint tracking over my second toe, and I'm breathing. All right, I'm going to stay down there. Big breath in. Ready for forwards rolling spine. Exhale, rib cage, nod. Roll down and take your hands to the floor. Hands are at the floor, feet are wide open. I'm still in parallel, but I'm going to stretch out the back of my knee. Inhale, and then go back to the squat shape. Breathe. Exhale, my legs will push down through my heels. Knees will reach backwards and my lumbar spine goes nowhere. Breath out to stretch into your hamstrings, not mine, but yours. Pressing your hands down. And again, head hanging, press your hands down. Next time your legs bend, pick up to tiptoes and walk yourself forwards so you can find an all fours position. In your all fours position, you stay here, shoulders, hands over shoulders, big breath in, core connect the breath and then send one leg out. Ready for plank with the second leg, stay and make everything as it should be. So I found my diagonal line, breathing deeply in and out, I'm pulling my shoulders away from the neck, reaching the crown of the head forwards and breathing really deeply. Pull your bum cheeks, your glutes tight together, big invitation. And then send those bottom cheeks to the sky, hips high, heels high, breathe in. And use your armpits to pull that long line back again. Perfect alignment. Exhaling, push against the heel of the hands. Elevate the whole of your weight upwards. You should have no tucking under at the lumbar area. Inhale in the pyramid position. Exhale, hips forwards, armpits to get your lats and strats in your back. We've just got 2 more of these. Core connect. Up you go. Find your pelvic floor. Push the floor away from you with the heels of the hands. Keep the hips high, heels high, and then pull the ground under you with your arms to bring the body back into its long line and come down to all fours. From all fours position, check that your knees are level with each other. Exhaling now and tilt the pelvis to round into your cat stretch. Huge inhale, nose looking at the thighs, and then breathing out, do the opposing position. Pulling the ground backwards through the hands in your mind as you pull your cleavage forwards. Okay, big breath in. And exhale, pelvic tilt and round. Big breath in. I'm in my cat, round back, and then breathing out. Pull the ground with your hands under you in your mind. So pull the weight, and that'll help get more lats and strats, and also if your elbows stay soft. And then you're staying back into your all fours. Take your hands wide. This is all the prep. You've got your wide chest press. I don't want us to come back to this studio and see us all looking round-shouldered, upper spine curved, as though we've aged a year just because the coronavirus hit our lives. So we're keeping the chest. I do this every single day. Keep my chest open. Gravity and life naturally tend to take you into a little bit of forwards and closure at the chest, where we want open chest, open collarbones. And if you breathe to get the core muscles working whilst you're doing this, remember, you'll get a Pilates move rather than just an upper body move. So the exhale is the pelvic floor, navel to spine, and the pulling of your posture forwards, elbows go wide open, you feel everything across the front of the chest. And to be honest, people, you should be getting really strong at this. The amount of clients who I think are amazing. You're doing this daily. Some of you are doing it every other day. You're basically doing everything you can, but most of you are doing more Pilates than you ever did. Okay, I'm going to make this the last one. Waking everything up. And then you're going to tuck your toes under your feet. Are you ready? Create that round spine. Core connect the middle of you with the breath. And then roll to tiptoes. Keep the legs bent. We're now going to roll the spine back to standing position, and I'm going to go towards the bar, okay? Your chair or whatever. I want the hips open now. So for this workout here, open collarbones. You've just opened the upper body. Now utilise it. Let's start with the hands across the chest. As you go down into your squat and back up. So you squat and stand. Hinge at the hips, pull back up. Hinging at the hips and back up. So that's the sumo squat. It's no different to the one you just did earlier, except the knees are turned out. And as you go down into this squat, imagine you're pulling your knees out sideways. Okay, let's have our arms by our sides. As you push your arms out, think of your thighs pulling out sideways. You sit, you hinge. I'm looking at the screen because I'm trying to make sure that what I demonstrate to you is what should be. But the poking chin forwards isn't really the plan. Let's go down and stay into this wide squat. So you're staying there, you're breathing deeply in and out. Go back to your pelvic tilts, but keep your arms reaching. Exhaling, the knees are open, the arches are lifted, your heels are really feeling the ground and your toes are spread. Pelvic tilt. It'll feel like a back release. Breathe into it, breathe out and go back to your neutral. Breath out, it's a reach through the arms still, so the whole body has got what's known as a double length and retention. So you're reaching everywhere. So rather than just thinking of the legs, you're tensioning the whole of the posture, tensioning through the upper body and the arms whilst you do these pelvic tilts to mobilise the hip and mobilise the lumbar spine. All right, this is your last pelvic tilt. Your heels are grounded, you tilt the pubis forwards, your lumbar becomes nicely released, and then you're going back to neutral. From there then, we're going to pick up one foot to tiptoes and then see if you can deepen the heel leg, deepen into your seat. Put both hands to your chest. You're going to do 10 here. So the thighs are pulling out wide. It's not just the inner thigh you'll feel, you should feel the outside of the bottom. And if you push the ground away with that heel that's flat, and you pull into the ground with that heel, you'll get everything you need for why I'm doing this activation. So exhaling and inhaling, make the breath muscles, make the trunk stabilizers work. Last time, and up, and ready to change. So go find your squat, core connect, pick up your other foot to tiptoes, keep all of this lovely, and down. So now it's the other heel that's down, your toes are spread, everything's aligned. You're sitting back into it, keep going. So the sense of seated back into this, it's no different to any of the other squats we do. And the dominant leg, yes, both legs are working, but the dominant side is working to the hamstring glute on the heel down side. Your toes are spread, your other foot's in tiptoes, and the breathing will stop you getting it in your back. Remember, it goes into the lower back when you're either tucked under or you're twisted, okay? So always put both heels flat and find a place where there's no referral anywhere but the right activator place, which is hamstrings, glutes, inner thighs and inside of knee, and then both heels down, tuck your bottom under, and up you come. Okay, stand at the edge of your mat. You're going to take it into that mid and stand. So you go mid. In case you haven't noticed, I'm actually going to get you quite tied with the global wake up. So this is global muscle wake up, hinge. So the leg that goes to the center of your mat bends and you sit your bottom backwards. The leg at the other end of the mat stays straight. We've done this about 4 times now in some of the workouts. It's a great activation, and it's this kind of sort of single leg stuff. Go down and stay. So staying there, check everything is as it should be. So I'm sat backwards, my foot of my leg that's straight, the ankle is reaching away from the body, okay, so that the outside of the foot is imprinted. Then this leg that's going to turn now, and it's going to be more one foot that way, one foot that way. So you've got like an L shape with the feet. From I'm going to do a stretch. So first of all, get to a place where you feel as though you're open at the hip, then turn the chest, and then big breath in, exhale, nod the chin, bend your ribs, and take your posture, trunk area down, so your forwards bent spine, one hand either side of the bent leg foot. Stretching away, that's all this is. Try and pull your belly abdomen off your thigh of the front leg. Try and push the back heel, the heel of the back straight leg away from you, push into the ground, and then to come back up again, put one hand on your bent leg thigh, put your other hand on, and return your posture back to center. Okay, we're going to do the other side in terms of lunge step. So come back, go to the other end of your mat, and you're ready. You're going to lunge and step. Now, you can do this move. So the center leg, the center mat is the bent leg. You sit back. The leg that stays straight, push into the outside of your feet. So you lunge and stand. Side lunge and stand. The load goes to the outsides of both feet. Your chin would be tucked in. And keep going. Sit. Remember, this can be done smaller. You can hinge here. The bigger the range, obviously the more control you need for the backwards pull. So the hardest part of this is coming back. If you notice as I do it, I almost float my back leg. So I land, and then the standing leg pulls. Go and stay. Reorganise here. So we want the L-shaped feet again. If you think of your heel to heel lineup, so your heels want to be lined up with each other, even though the bent leg now is pointing away from the screen, and the other foot is pointing too. So my arms are showing what my feet are doing. Now find more of a lunge. Remember to keep this back leg activated through the outside of the ankle. Keep the hips as open as you can, and then turn your ribs. Once the ribs are turned, so I'm still pulling my hip bones backwards of the back leg, and I'm not forcing any pain or shearing force into my lumbar. You ready for your forwards bend of the spine? The breath out is the nod, and the forwards bend.
and forwards bend as far as you can go. The load is through the hamstrings and glutes on the bent leg dominantly. I'm not trying to twist my hips, I'm trying to keep them pulling back at the back leg, but I'm feeling a lovely stretch of the spine and into the side bottom area of the bent leg, which is your front leg, as in front of you. Breathe, and then put one hand to your thigh, feel the heel into the ground, keep your arches active, and return everything back up until you find yourself central. Okay, bring the legs together and staying where you are. You're going to come to your bar and go straight into heel raisers and lower, so rolling up and down. If you're using a roller, if you're using a chair, obviously sort yourself out now. I'm not going to rush on. Exhaling. So you're looking at getting the ankles to work, rolling through. You're in your neutral pelvic position. Your knees aren't locked out, and if you could see me from the side, I'm not leaning forwards nor backwards. I just elevate through the ankle and feet muscles. Okay, so ankles and feet working as they should. If you feel as though you're doing as you need to, you can do arms reaching and returning. So you can float your arms forwards and pull back. We're always going to be challenging stability because Pilates is postural stabilisation. And whilst there are loads of fancy things you can do, at the end of the day, if you can't stand on one leg, if you can't roll through your ankles and be stable, then we're missing something, okay? The next time you go to your tiptoes, stay. In tiptoes, put one hand on a surface, if you've got it, and then pull down into a squat, and then come right back up onto your tiptoes. So I'm pulling everything backwards, squat it, and stand. Down into your squat, breathe, exhale, up into your stand. Down into your squat, and stand. Down into your squat, stand. I'm not very good at this. Down into your squat, and stand. And I would say, as I would always say, if your technique is better with a tiny bit of touch, then use that tiny bit of touch, okay? Next time you're in your stand, stay. And we have our flat back squat. So you're going to go down and up. Down you go, and up you go. Keep this going, lower, and lift. In the squat that we do with a flat back, you're training the muscles that go over your knee to get strong, long, and to keep your knee aligned, okay? Go down and stay. So I come down here, I look at both thigh bones, check both knee joints, I'll show you from the side. In this position here, my back is flat, but I'm not tucked under. My knee joints are level, my heels are up. If you go too high, you block movement. You want to be heels so they're not locked, they're just sat mobilised. And then you're going to go into that area, that's where we progress, where you think, yes, I know I'm doing an exercise that deals with some weakness. Now, pelvic floor, navel to spine. Just do 4 more. If you need to stick your bottom back a bit, that too is fine, but it can't be in your spine. It has to be in the knees, and your knee joints have to be level with each other. 1 more. And as you come out of that last one, go all the way to tiptoes and then lower back down. From here, stand so that you can hold onto a surface because of what I'm going to do with you. Go back to your squats. So the squat, remember, if there's one mistake on squats, it's the chest dropping too low. So if you put one hand on your chest to remind the body that the range comes from the hip, then the knee, and the ankle. Now my range is diminished because my ankles are really quite tight, and I think it's partly because I have tiny feet for my body. Whichever way, you have to keep your chest from dropping, okay? We've got last squat. In the squat here, I would take my hands to a surface, definitely, or the roller, stood up on its end, peel one foot to tiptoes, and step it back, and tuck the foot under. So we're going into that lunge, the start of single leg activation with the hamstring working. You can see how light my back leg is in that I could actually float it off. I'm not asking you to float the back leg off. I'm just asking you to keep this alignment so you're tracking away with the knees and the hips As you go down, it's backwards and up. If you feel as though life's good for you, you could have your arms reaching. So the back leg has a minimal load. We're going to do 4 more. The front leg, back of the thigh into the bottom, has a dominant load. Now if you have really weak knees, you could make the load equal between 2, okay? What we can't have is anything in the lower back or anything in the joint of the knee, side, centre or inside. When you go down this next time, you're going to stay. Tuck your bottom under and then find what would be now an emphasis to the back leg. So your back leg now wants to drive down and up. Make sure that you're not as if stood on a tightrope. You need it so that your feet have that split distance between left and right. And the dominant leg now is your back leg. The front knee doesn't really want to go forwards with the toes at all. And the back thigh starts to get its welcome to the party moment. Down you go, driving through the back leg, so your spine stays lined up with your back thigh, armpit. Okay, knee joint, hip bone, armpit. Go down and stay. And this is where I want to play. So stay here. Your front foot's going to go to tiptoes. Take it so that your left arm opens out, turn and look for it, and come back. Now all my load is going through my back thigh, front of it, yeah? So it's my quadriceps. As I exhale or inhale the rib cage, my hips go nowhere. So this area stays absolutely still as you open the thoracic and return back. Just 2 more. And breathing 1 more. In you come and deepen, deepen, deepen that back leg and push up and bring the legs together. Welcome. Find your squat. Time to step back now with your other leg. So find your first position. You've got this diagonal lean and then the leg that's stretched backwards comes off the ground and down, or it just stays down. Whichever way, you're trying to get only the front leg, hamstring and glutes to stay lined. So you've got your activation now on the back of the thigh, all of those muscles there into your seat. The pelvic position's absolutely level from left to right. And your back leg, the straight leg that you bend and straighten, is light. To the point where that as you straighten, it could do a float. The chances are though, if you do the float, you might end up with a bit of twist going on. Remember, the breathing muscles are your trunk, big demand of trunk muscles as you do such load. Next time we go stay. So here then, transition into the front of your thigh, other leg. So it's a lunge really, but it's the straight back lunge as you go down. Find your place and up. Never be afraid of reorganising alignment if it doesn't feel quite right. So this back knee of mine is one I had surgery on just before Christmas. That now seems literally years ago, like it. When was Christmas, people? So the back thigh bone drives down, your armpits lined up with your back thigh, the thigh of the back leg has taken 90% of the load, the pelvis stays true, left to right, side to side, top to bottom, and you can feel the quads going tighter, tighter, longer, 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 and your front knee would never travel forwards of your toes. And if you're not getting the right things happening, you either need to tuck under because you're lordotic, or you need to sit further back. People like Helen McGee, sit back. Any sway back needs to sit into the bums. That's possibly Janet. Sit into your bottom on the standing leg as well. Okay, we go down to stay. Keep everything lined. Pick up tiptoes on that front foot and you're ready. Exhaling. Opposite rotation. Inhale. Breathe out. You will feel your quad on the leg that's your back leg, as it were. That will start to feel loads going on. Make sure you only move through the shoulder and the ribs, the neck. As the pelvic stability stays
And your quadriceps get long and strong. 2 more. And 1 more. And heel down. And stand up and don't betray the agony that was there. Okay, people, we're going to go straight onto our seat. So sit, line yourself up with the bottom end of your mat and sit really tall. You're breathing. Big breath in, arms are reaching. Exhale, do a baby tilt. So tuck under, don't collapse, just tuck under. Have a breath in again. Exhale and roll a little bit so that you see the thighs level, the pelvis is level. Have a breath in, breathe out and reverse everything back. Inhale, seated spine. Exhale and lean, tilt. Feel the synchronizing of the pelvis going into its tilt. Go as far as you're comfortable to go. Breathe. And return back. You feel those sitting bones. Big breath out to pelvic tilt. Remember, you smile the breath away. You roll your hip bones in the direction of the floor behind you. You keep your thighs absolutely level. Go to where you're comfortable to go. Big breath in. And exhaling. Bend to bring yourself up to seated. Next time we go down, we're going to stay down. So you've got your lean, pelvic tilt off your sitting bones, incremental laying down of every part of the spine, calibrating all the way with the pelvis until you're down there. Now, if you need to move down your mat a tad, do. You're now into your lying on your back with your legs bent, ready for your 100 position. So have your legs tight together. Glance up to make sure both knees are level. Have a little squiggle and wriggle around at your hip bone area here, the pelvis. That too needs to feel level. Exhaling with your feet flat, curl, head, neck and shoulders. They roll. Stay for a big breath in. And breathing out, reverse back down. Exhale, nod. Drive your rib cage, your breathing muscles, your obliques. Inhaling and down. Breath out, press into your heels. Curl. And inhaling back down. Exhale, roll and curl and stay. Pick up one leg to tabletop and we're going to continue this time with both hands behind the head. So my pelvis is in a very gentle imprint. Exhaling. Now if you've been doing Pilates with me for years and years, some of you have, then feel free to do this in a gentle neutral. Don't arch your back, but neither will you feel as though you're imprinting your lumbar. Exhaling, I pull my elbows together. Inhaling, open like butterfly arms. Now breathing out, pull the elbows, point them at that leg that's in the air. Inhale and down. Breathing out, nod, roll. And back down last time. Okay, stay down this time, but keep your leg up in tabletop. Keep your elbows by your hands under head, but if that's too tight on your shoulders, take your arms out wide. You're now going to do pelvic lift and lower. So now you've got your single leg, push against the ground, and it's not quite a rolling hip activity, but it's most certainly a hamstring and glute stabilizer. If you use your breathing muscles to trunk stabilize, nothing goes into your back, and you get the wake-up call on the hamstrings and glutes. It's not about how high you go. I would actually suggest if you go really high, you're using your back extensors. It's not really a problem, but it's not the exercise I'm actually teaching your body. I'm trying to keep the back completely inactive as and when. One more. And back down you go. Place both feet down, check their level, and bring your other leg up into tabletop. So now I've got the leg that's just been working through the back of the thigh in tabletop. Breathing out, I will curl towards that knee. Inhale and down. Breathing muscles, smile the breath out, pull your elbows together, don't drag on your neck. You've just got your fingertips on the base of the skull, the occipital bone, as your elbows come in and out. Now if that's too much on one of your shoulders, simply have one arm reaching to the bent leg that's on the floor and the other elbow coming up, or vice versa. It's not going to make a difference. The difference here is the ability to breathe out to roll up. So you're better off having no arms and breathing your position in and out than dragging everything up and getting all the things going wrong. So it's the breath out
that will get your obliques activated. Inhaling and back down. And last time, exhaling, I'm curling in the direction of the bent leg up in the air. And inhale and down and stay. Take your arms either wide or keep them behind your head. It doesn't really matter. Are we ready for the lift and lower? Through the heel, pushing into the ground. Exhaling. Up you go. Inhaling and down. Breath out. Core connect. Pelvic floor. Hamstring glutes. Take it to the bum, to the heel. And exhale. Trunk stabilizers. Heels into the floor. Inhaling and down. Breath out. It's a pelvic lift. Obliques connect to the front of you, hamstrings and glutes from the heel to the seat bones. Up you go. Keep reaching through your arms. Don't let anything happen to the shoulder. Exhaling, ribs, and up. Inhaling. 2 more. Spread your toes. Press the outside of your instep on that floor leg. 1 more. And back down you go. Quickly bring both knees into the chest. Find your 100 position with bent legs and inhale. Exhale, push the legs straight. Inhale and down you go. So a tiny bit of a hold on the back of the thighs. So as you first of all do this 100, rolling out breath upwards, inhaling and back down. As the rolling breath, you want to calibrate the pelvis. So the pelvis, on just about every person I know, will naturally twist. So the only way to stop the twist and notice it is to keep the sacrum flat and keep the legs tight together. Last 2, up you go. This one we stay up. Staying up there, hold. Put your right hand behind your head, keep the elbow wide open, and then take your legs into the split. Big breath in, let the head, neck and shoulders go down. Exhale as you curl up, pull that leg up. Inhaling and down. So the leg lowers and it lifts as you breathe out. Inhale, it reaches and lowers away. Exhale, it. Now if you wanted to make this a tad more exciting, keep the leg doing what it's doing and do a double hands behind the head and a gentle curling up in the direction of the leg that's being held straight up in the air. Or you can reach both hands, whichever way. We should be getting a deep oblique, nothing in the lower back, no rolling away from anywhere. Okay, this is your last one. Both legs together, send your other leg away, set up your position, head goes down and exhale, you lift and inhale, lower. Breathing out, lift that leg, pelvic position. Are you starting to get your obliques? The obliques will work with the breath out as you roll the rib cage to bend and shorten between the ribs and hips. Remember, cradle the back of the skull. Now, if you're tempted to twist, really anchor the leg that's staying still, just anchor that leg down. You can even do a little bit of lateral rotation there. And it's the moving to position with the rib cage, belly area, abdomen, and moving out of position that wakes up the abdominal core. Shall we do one more? Okay, knees into the chest. And you're going to go straight to your sides. So I'll take us into, I think we do here. Let's go here first. I'll do a few sequences on sides. So you're in your side lying position, straight into leg reaching straight. So as we get this going, reach through the upper spine area, make sure the waist on the side you're lying is off the floor, and we're going straight into leg circles. So the minutiae of a side lying sequence is here. There should be as much emphasis on your abdominal area as there is on the feeling of the leg. Notice how it doesn't go very big and the hip stays absolutely stacked. Just reverse that sequence. We've got leg circles, and if you wanted it harder, the underneath leg will be less bent, as you have to then stabilise the pelvis more. So true Pilates will actually at times feel as though there's very little going on, but by the discipline of doing this, you're making lots of tiny muscles that you couldn't name find their place and help keeping your joint mobile, fit, and all the right muscles activated. So it's as though the thigh bone is stirring within the circle of the hip socket, and the smooth articulation here, along with the waist lifted. I don't think you can see I've got daylight between my waist, is what this is all about. So this is a small exercise designed to be small and designed to work you in appropriate ways. Now both legs can be together, and exhaling, let both legs lift up, flex at the ankle, and inhale, point the toes and lower them down. Breath out, you reach the legs and they lift, inhale, point and lower. Just 4 more, reach them, flex at your ankles as you lift, point the toes away and back down. 3 more, the waist is still lifted on the side you're lying, your neck feels completely relaxed. Everything is just mellow and easy. Make the most of it, it ain't going to stay. So up and down. I think I've changed my ankle positions. And again, up and down, and let that go. Straight from there then, onto your all fours. We're going to go straight into the dart position. So feet are parallel, and they can feel as though they're reaching to the end of the mat. Nose is pointing to the floor. Big breath in. Breathing out, pelvic tilt to pubic dominance. Find your side bottom muscles working. Then roll your shoulder blades together. Let the crown of the head reach away and the legs drive tight together, and inhale back down. Breathing out, pelvic floor, shoulder blades come together. Crown of the head reach. Hands reach in the direction of the sides of the knees. You squeeze your thighs tight together to get your bum crease, and you come back down. Breathe. Exhaling, this is called dart. Pull those legs tight together and release them down. Exhale, shoulder blades, legs tight, really pull them in. It's the pulling of the legs together that's going to get your inner thighs, okay? If you're struggling, break it down to just the legs. Okay, so just the legs would go exhale, core, thighs squeeze, glutes squeeze, legs reach. And again, exhaling, shoulders, collarbones, core, and release. Do 4 more of those. So the whole activation is through the shoulders, through the inner thighs, through the glutes, with the trunk stability, pulling the navel off the floor as you do the full range move. 1 more, and let that go. Okay, from there, come onto your side. So now go to the other end of your mat. You're on the other side of side lying. So rather than having to turn and face the other way, line up. You're trying to keep your neck in alignment with the spine. Okay, your legs reaching, and you're going straight into circles. So the side of the side lying off the floor. You're stirring the thigh bone, reaching the thigh out of the pelvis, keeping the pelvis absolutely level. Okay, so it's level from left to right. I'm in complete neutral. And it's as though I'm drawing a circle with my heel, external reaching. Point the toe, go back the way it came. The smaller the circle and the lower it goes, the more likely you are to do it as a pelvic stability activation. Remember, the smaller things sometimes done well with the breath actually give you more postural advantages than the bigger global muscles that you can feel. But if you've not done Pilates for a long while properly, as in not done years with us, some of these exercises your body's still learning. So the hips stay absolutely still. I'm stacked left to right. There's this lovely gap between my waist. And as I talk, I forgot which way I was going with the leg. Can you feel everything working this side bottom? Okay, it's your last one. If it's done accurately, it starts to really go for your seat. And then when you've done that last one, you're going to go straight onto hands and knees. First thing I'm going to do here is knee hovers, just to wake up the heat in the body again. So big breath in, my hands are as wide as the mat is, my toes are tucked under my feet, knees are level with each other. Hovering knees as I open the collarbones, knees hover and... So as I hold this shape, pull abdominal area in and then inhale, lower the knees down, let them touch together, exhale, lift. Inhale to lower. Your pelvic position is neutral or think flat back. The hands are reaching, spread through your fingers, reach to the outsides of the hand. Keep the load in the back of the wrist area and the outside of the fingers. When you're doing this accurately, it should start to really work through your obliques more than your quads, okay? I'm going to make it slightly different. Lower the knees down for a moment. Now exhale, bend the rib cage, bend the elbows slightly, so you're forwards bent, and then lift. Your legs will straighten, and then pull the knees and push the knees. So as you pull the knees as if to your wrist, keep watching them lift and lower. So this becomes far more oblique. It's like elephant on the reformer. Just do 4 more. I've got forwards flex. Everything is in my obliques. 3 more. 2 more. And the last one. Okay, just let the bum go back. Stretch anything out that didn't quite go where it could and should have gone. And then reach your arms. Okay, from that position there, you come straight to all fours again. Bring your knees together and then send your right leg out. Big toe touches the floor. Send your left arm out. Breathe. And come back with the arm, back with the leg. Imagine your spine's a tray full of food, whatever food you want it to be. But as you move the leg first, it's touching the floor, look. And then core connect the obliques. If you want to put your hand to your belly, that might be a better connection to your abdomen. And then returning back. It's known in the trade as all fours, kneeling, pinpointing, Superman. Whichever brand of Pilates you trained with, at the end of the day, it's a diagonal relationship between the leg and the arm without any disturbance of the trunk. Nothing in the back as you lengthen and lift. So again, another exercise that's quiet, but actually to do it is quite demanding. To do it properly, this is how I often see it done. People kicking their leg up, that's not the exercise. The exercise is pinpoint. Perfect alignment through the shoulder, perfect alignment through the pelvis, all beautifully knitted together with the breathing out of the trunk stabilising as the limbs flow, without taking the postural muscles out of action. Okay, let that be your last one. What shall we do to finish? Because I realise that it's 1:45. Let's do a quick stretch. Go into your wide legs. Sit right onto your seat bones. This can be done with your legs narrower. You're simply going to a position where you feel as though you can express openness through this area here. So if I was to have my hands behind my head, I'd be able to do this and this. If the hands behind the head's too big a deal for your shoulder, then do this. Whichever way, as you're doing your side bend, it's as though you're pulling your armpit elbow down one side and then coming back. Imagine your back's flat to the wall behind you, assuming you have a wall there. As you get the bend, exhale and inhale to sit tall. Exhaling, my seat bones are heavy, my legs are reaching against the floor, and again. Okay, last time. Okay, stay. Now you're going to turn to whichever leg you want, exhale and rotate, at which point allow your arms to come across your chest. I'm still heavy on both seat bones equally. Breathing out, I'll pull my chin to my throat. I'll nod and I'll roll down and I'll reach my toes. And then I reverse back, hands to chest and push my chest back up and turn centre. Breathing out, pull round the other way round It's a forwards bending nod roll. Once you're there, breathe, relax your shoulders and reach, keeping the opposing sitting bone heavy, okay, and reversing back up. Once you're back up there, I'm going to do a shoulder stretch to finish actually because I think you need it. The all fours positions, remember, thread the needle, you put your arm under and you'll breathe out, thread, inhale and back to all fours, change sides or repeat on the same side, do about 4 each side, so you're either alternating. The rules go, breath out is the turn of the head, then the shoulders, with the pelvis staying absolutely still. You don't sink backwards into your knees. Exhaling, the arm bends of the threaded under area, and inhale to come back. Exhale, it's a inhaling and back. Let's do last time, both sides equally, and back, and then finally, take your, whichever leg you want. I'm taking the one nearest the screen, out sideways, and then I'm going to sit the bottom back to get a really good stretch going on in hamstring, inner thigh. My elbows are bent, I'm crouched backwards. It's like doing child pose without being both legs bent. I'm going to bring that leg back in. Send my other leg out the same. So remember, you go hinge at the elbows, and you pull your bottoms, sit it back as far as you can to get the stretch going on through the inner thigh of the extended out sideways leg, and return back. Okay, people, that's all we have time for. That's been a really decent mobilising session for Pilates, and it's great that you could join me. Do this workout whenever, however. We will be 9 a.m. live Monday to Friday. For those of you that are on the Zoom timetable, that's obviously going to take place the rest of this day and 5 days a week too. So lots of love, stay safe, stay well, and I can't wait to see you face to face. Let me know if you need any requests for other workouts and I'll do what I can. Okay, bye.